going to ask Jordan to answer some viewer questions from our Good Money mailbag. All right, Jordan, you ready?
Yep.
First question comes from Mary of New York, New York. She writes in asking, is it a good idea to start paying off student loans while still enrolled in school? Hey, I guess if you can swing it, why not?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you're in school, your student loans typically aren't accruing interest. That said, if you think you can start being responsible and paying them off while you're still in college, start right away. There's no harm in that. The good thing, too, is if you think that you might need to take out further loans, like when you're going into grad school, if you've already started chipping away at these student loans, there's going to be more available for you to borrow from down the line. So, yeah, if you think that you're able to handle that, starting early is always a good thing.
All right, here's a question from Sam of Reading, Pennsylvania. I'm a recent college graduate, and I have a 401k with a previous employer. I know the best thing to do is to roll it over to an IRA. What I don't know are the benefits of doing so. Why would I want to do this? So a little explanation, please, Jordan.
Well, this is something that actually affects a lot of 20-somethings because there's so much job mobility that people jump from job to job to job, and they often have 401ks, in some cases, scattered all over the country. With the 401k, that's administered by each individual employer that you've had in the past, and it may be invested well or it may not be invested as well as humanly possible. So rolling it into an IRA effectively gives you control. It centralizes all the money that has been put in. You're the one who's actually administering that account, and you're deciding where that money is invested. So we do recommend rolling that all together just so you're not have your money scattered, and if one of the companies that you've worked for in the past goes under and declares bankruptcy, you're risking losing the money that was in that 401k.
All right, Jordan, we have another 401k question from Lisa of Atlanta, Georgia, and she asks, is it better to pay off my credit card debt or contribute to my 401k or do a combination of both? What do you think, Jordan?
So this is a little bit tricky. In general, credit card debt tends to be really high interest, so we say pay that off first just because it could ramp up so quickly. What you want to look at here is, does your employer have a program by which for every dollar that you contribute to your 401k, they'll actually match that dollar? In that case, what you want to do is compare what's the interest rate on your credit card, and if I'm putting this money into my 401k, because it's being matched dollar for dollar, you may actually be making more money putting money in the 401k than you are losing by allowing your credit card interest to go forward. So you want to do that side-by-side analysis.
All right, that makes perfect sense. Now, Brian of Poughkeepsie, New York, has a question. He says, I want to begin saving for my future retirement. I am 21 years old and would like to open up some kind of mutual fund or IRA, but I know nothing about them. Do you have any advice as to how I can find out which one is right for me? Well, Brian certainly needs to be lauded for thinking so far ahead, thinking about his retirement at 21. A lot of 21-year-olds are not quite thinking that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say in the short term, if Brian's just in his first job, you might want to look into the 401k as opposed to the IRA. Just for your first job, you have the potential benefit that the employer will match your dollars one-to-one. You also have the fact that dollars put into a 401k are pre-tax. So those two benefits, if you're only going to have one 401k, make it a better option than an IRA. What you may want to look at, though, is investing in mutual funds instead of a 401k. The thing with both a 401k and an IRA is that's money that's in there until you retire. And if you ever need to take it out early, you're going to incur a penalty. Because you're only 21, you might want to do a mutual fund, which is a little bit higher risk, but it's also a little bit higher reward. And if you need access to those dollars sometime in the next 40 years, you're going to be able to access that quickly and easily without taking a hit.
Yeah, at 21, it might pay off to, to do some real investing, some real aggressive investing with some of it, obviously, not all of it.
Now's the time when you can afford to do that sort of thing. Later on is when you want to play it a little bit safer.
That's right. All right, our last viewer question of the day comes from Emily of Durham, North Carolina. I graduated in 2007 with a BA degree that is not in demand. I've not been employed in my field of study, and I'm losing hope. I can't seem to find employment that I actually enjoy and that pays decently. I have debt, so I have to work. I'm at the point now where I have to either go back to graduate school with no specific career goal and rack up more debt, or continue working jobs that leave you living paycheck to paycheck and wait on a break. Any suggestions? You know, Emily's situation is common to a lot of young people.
Yeah, this is happening more and more where you did rack up all this credit card debt and student loan debt. You graduate and you find either that you can't find a job at all or you can't pay a job that pays you enough to actually get out of debt. What we recommend is look at your major in a much broader sense. So here she said, when I'm looking for jobs in my particular field, I'm not finding that I'm being paid enough. you got to expand your conception of what your particular field is. That the skills you learned in your major can be applied really, really broadly. Go on a website like salary.com and find out how much money do you think you actually need to get out of debt and to be comfortable. Find positions that pay that amount of money, and then try to figure out, can your degree actually lead to being hired in one of those fields? Or what's a compelling argument that your degree has prepared you to be hired in one of those fields? And then start going on interviews and see, can you actually get a job that pays a little bit more? It may not be the job that you thought of at first, but it may be one you find equally rewarding.
All right, Jordan, thank you very much for taking the time to answer our viewer questions today. And if you have any questions regarding your finances, go to our website, abcnews.com/business, and ask our team of personal finance experts all your questions. We'll do our best to answer them here on the show.
ABC News Now. Good to know.